Hi there, this is Cmd, and I'm coming at you with the second part in my Audio Finder tutorial series. And today the focus is going to be on tagging and organization and a little bit on using audio Cortex. So we're going to start very simple, just how do you tag stuff in Audio Finder. So I've got some files here which I've just got on my favorites bin, which are from an old Big Fish Audio sample library. So as you can see, I've got all my own custom tags I've already set up here with emojis, and I've labeled them all and I've split them up. I've got a couple of my favorite things that I use all the time at the top, and then I've got alphabetically all the instruments and vocals and genre specific stuff here, and then I've got a gap, and then I've got all of my drum stuff at the bottom. So I've spent a lot of time organizing it here, and hopefully to my benefit, because it allows me to get around very quickly and instantly get to kind of the sounds that I'm looking for. Anyway, so let's get into it. So to set up a tag, you click this tags button down at the bottom here, and then you click setup here. This little pop-up window will come up. You click add, and then you can type in whatever the name of your tag will be. So I'll just call this tutorial tag. Now, one bit of information here is that you can't have spaces in the tag name. If you have a space, it will create two different tags. So you can use underscores or dashes, and you can also use emojis in your tags, which I think is really useful for a bit of a visual representation. You can drag these tags wherever you want. It doesn't sort it alphabetically. Personally, I found it very useful to keep them ordered alphabetically rather than having them everywhere. But as I showed you before, I've used dashes either side of a word to kind of split up, and there's nothing in this tag, but I've just used it to split up this list. So you could use lots of different categories and kind of split up your list using something like that. Could be very useful for you. So once you set up your tag name, you just click OK, and then it will appear at the top here, and then you simply select a number of items and you can click tag there. The other way you can add tags is useful if you want to say you've got two tags here. So this has now got both the tags. If I want to add both those tags to another selection of audio, I've got to first click this one, then I've got to click this one, which for 10 different samples is fine, but if you're doing a folder of 200 samples, it actually takes an extra minute or so to categorize them all. So what you can do is you can come into this edit window here, and where it says tags here, you can select this whole window with Command A, copy it, and then come to your list of tags and paste, and that will then paste in both the tags. Now it doesn't show you up there, but if you go now, you can see it's got both the tags in for all of these. So that's a useful little trick if you're trying to tag huge files, especially if you're using lots of different tags for files. It can be really useful to copy from this window rather than clicking on the tags in the tag list. So yeah, to remove them, you can either click on this tag here to get rid of them, or you can delete them from this window again. So, and then save. So that's also useful for deleting the tags off samples. So to view your list of tags, you've got your tag browser, and if I, for instance, go here, this then shows me all of the samples which I've tagged with the noise and splice tag that I've created. So I've got loads of samples here. Now the one thing that really annoys me about this is I can't then key search in this tag that I've got here. If I type in, for instance, wind, I can see I've got wind samples here. It actually searches my whole hard drive for wind. It does a database search rather than searching for this specific tag menu. So what you can do to get around the problem where you want to search a specific tag and you're searching this way is to select the whole group, right click, and then you can go add to session favorites bin. And what that will mean is when you can then go back to your kind of lists view out here, and you can go back to your favorites bin, then these are the samples I added earlier, which I was working with before. But if I delete them away, I've not now got that entire list of box noise and splice tags in my favorites bin, and now I can search this for wind, and now that has just searched just those tags with a specific file name of your choice. So that's really handy. The other thing which I showed in my last video, which is a good trick, is when you're on a tag, you can use the star button on your numpad to randomly shuffle through the samples with that tag. So it's really handy if you're not looking for anything in particular, or you've got a lot of samples to get through, for just randomly shuffling through, and you're always going to find something that you would never usually pick. But this way kind of just makes it a bit more broad and random, which can be really useful. So in Audio Finder, you've got all these tags which you can use to organize your stuff, and you can use to search things using this tag browser. You've also got the sidebar lists and groups, which you access with this little button here you saw me click on. And this is kind of where I spend most of my time in Audio Finder working. I use the tags to categorize stuff, but then I use these playlists and these sidebar groups to organize my files for projects and to kind of condense everything down. So the tags tell me what I'm looking for, and the sidebar groups help me organize everything. One of the really cool things about these sidebar groups is you can mix folders from your laptop. You can drag them in, I'll show you in a second, with playlists that you've curated on Audio Finder. So to create a new sidebar group, you right click in the side here. So you can either click on the actual sidebar group, or you can click on a list, and then you get a group, and I'll just label this tutorial. And then to add a list, you right click and you go new empty list, and it will take you to this saved lists menu, which I've obviously filled out. I haven't really been very organized with it. Some of these have got nothing in them. I just haven't gone through them and deleted the ones I don't need. It doesn't really matter because you can just hide it away. One annoying thing is you have to label the list before you drag it in. Tutorial list 3. Okay. So then I'm dragging that list into my sidebar group. Okay, so now we've got a list, and we can, if I'm gonna get rid of this, so we can go back to our favorites bin. Say we've sorted some of these samples out and we like them, we can add them to our tutorial list. So they're all in here. And then I want some Juno 106 samples for this project, so I can drag in this Juno pack from my Finder, and that'll come in here now as well. So now I've got this Juno pack, I've got the list which I'm making in Audio Finder, and you can kind of combine stuff from all over and really condense down what you're looking for. Sometimes it's good to have one of the top files of a sample library here, and then to go through and can quickly drag down there anything that you like into a folder. And the best thing about Audio Finder here is that this list it's not moving any of your files locations, so all these files stay where they are. You've just now got access to them in one playlist, so you don't have to worry about anything getting corrupted. You can just load your files onto a hard drive out the way, audio files, and then use Audio Finder to do all the organizing for you. So that's kind of its purpose. I should have talked maybe a little bit more about the favorites bin. The favorites bin is kind of your central hub in Audio Finder. It's really where you do a lot of your initial work and kind of use it to organize it, to tag it in your favorites bin, and then you can take it to any kind of list or folder that you're looking for. Before I get into Audio Cortex, one thing to note is if you want to delete stuff off a list, Backspace will get rid of it. Now that's gone from the list. If you want to delete stuff permanently off your hard drive, like put it straight in the trash, if you press Command Backspace, then you can actually move it straight from Audio Finder into the trash. So that's pretty useful for cleaning up your hard drive as well. You can also rename stuff using Command and R, and then you can actually change the file name, and it will change it in Finder once you've done it in Audio Finder. Okay, so let's go into Audio Cortex. So this is a new addition to Audio Finder that's come out this year, I think. There was a beta out before, and it's really helpful for a number of reasons. Firstly, one of the annoying things about Audio Finder is that it doesn't accept folders. So when you try and drag a folder into Audio Finder, it won't like it. You have to actually go into the folder and then drag the specific audio files in. But Audio Cortex now, if you have this open, you can drag these folders into Audio Cortex, into this area of Audio Cortex. And it's going to take a while to analyze them. Okay, so now it's done. You can then select this whole lot and drag into Audio Finder from there. So you can kind of bypass that annoying folder file problem and get all your files in. Another really useful thing about Audio Cortex is it, obviously its purpose is that it's analysed the audio and what it thinks it sounds like. So it's got all of these things under keyboard organ, and now in order to organise your files, you can firstly drag them into Audio Cortex, then you can drag all of these ones. So now what I've got is, from that sample pack, I've got all of the keyboards and organs, and they've got all these rubbish file names that you would never know what they were if you didn't have a program like that. And then I could organise all of these with the tag that I set up earlier with my tutorial tag. And if I'd labelled that piano or keyboard, it's a really good way of tagging stuff, especially if you've got sample packs full of poorly named files, or you just haven't been that organised. Then it's a really good way to kind of skip out all the tediousness of having to click through files. You just can instantly organise everything. I haven't tried loading, thousands and thousands of samples into Audio Cortex, but I imagine with enough time, you would handle it fine. And then you could potentially organise all of your kicks and snares from your whole library relatively simply, just having Audio Cortex running in the background. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get out today. Let me know if this is useful, and I've got a few more things I want to get through next time, a few more tips and tricks I can give you. So yeah, thanks for listening.